Supernatural Season 15, Episode 2, Raising Hell. So, of course, these reviews are insanely late. Sorry about that. I'm going to be doing all three in a row, up to the most recent episode, or at least the episode before last. So you'll notice the next three reviews are going to be just me in this shirt. This was a good episode. Wasn't expecting to see Kevin come back. Also wasn't expecting, at this point, it's just interesting. It's oh, okay, so Chuck was just a dick always, period. I guess that's obvious considering the entire series, but why Kevin? Why couldn't Kevin go to heaven? Not to rhyme, but it was just that's effed up. It made me mad. The whole episode, just Kevin though. Kevin was super cool. That sucks. Why would you do that to Kevin? I don't know. I was pissed. The whole episode was just man, I hate Chuck. It was just getting on my nerves. I was I don't know. Something about it was just Kevin, of all the people, for no reason. You're the one who made him a prophet. You destroyed his life, this straight A 4.0 student. You're the one who ruined everything and made him this kid who had to now be just thrown into all of life and eternity and the apocalypse and everything. And then it's just yep, I'm sending him straight to heaven. Psych. And he cast him down to hell. What the F? The whole episode, I was legitimately just man, that is just so messed up for no good reason. But whatever, it is what it is. But of course, by the end of the episode, Kevin is freed, from the barrier, and then he gets to kind of go off and just explore the world, and that's kind of all he can do because we get a new rule in this series, which I'm pretty sure. I always like to say I'm pretty sure. They've never established the fact that they clearly haven't because Sam and Dean didn't know. So if they don't know, we tend not to know. But it's if a soul is sent down to hell, then heaven can't have it, even if it was once in heaven and stuff like that. And then, they reference the fact that it's all right, God does make exceptions. He used to like you guys. So, it's just one of those things where it's oh, that's an interesting rule. And I feel the fact that they kind of put it in there, aside from an explanation, it could come up later, but I feel it's easy enough for that to just be okay, that's simple enough. But I feel it's totally possible for that to be a legit thing that pops up later on where it's yep, this specific soul, whoever the character may be, can no longer go to heaven because they've been in hell or something. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, Rowena pops up in this episode, as does Ketch, which I really wasn't expecting. So that was kind of cool. They have their little moment where they're, kind of eyeing each other and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny. But, all in all, decent episode. Things just get a little crazy because, of course, with the ghosts inside the dome kind of rallying against them, it's all right, what do we do? Also, they're fighting against, the leader of all the ghosts and stuff inside the dome is Jack the Ripper, which I thought was interesting. I personally felt myself, just from the aesthetic of the character, he seemed more like just a dude from the Wild West than an old era Victorian guy who was this, murder and stuff. I was he just looks like a guy from the Wild West. He even had the curly mustache and stuff, and I was I don't see him as Jack the Ripper. I just see this dude as a guy from the Old West, from the Wild West, rather than a dude, an old British guy. And I was just eh. Not to mention the fact that he didn't really seem to have any sort of accent in any way, shape, or form, to me at least. I'd have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure, I don't think I even thought of that while I was watching the episode. It was I don't sense any British accent whatsoever, especially considering you have Ketch, that guy's not even British. Or he might be. I've seen him in a commercial where he had an American accent. So either he is British and he was just doing the accent for the for that commercial, or he's not British at all and the British is totally fake, which sounds better than the Jack the Ripper dude who just sounded like a guy talking. If I'm now that I'm really replaying that in my head, didn't think of that at all while watching it, but I was he doesn't sound British at all. Now that it's playing back in my head. So they're dealing with him. He's the leader of all the spirits. Kevin, for a minute there, was kind of high and mighty because all the other spirits listened to him, because it was oh yeah, I was cast down, specifically by God. So it was kind of whoa, that's that's tough stuff. And then of course Jack the Ripper's no, he's buddy with Sam and Dean, which I was surprised that there would be any demon whatsoever that wouldn't know everything about Sam and Dean, including who all their friends were. He said how demons are, all they talk about is Sam and Dean. And I was it is hell. It's an infinite amount of lives. It does take time for things to spread. But I don't know, that is kind of the point of the show, is that they are legitimately just that popular, especially considering Dean was down there for a minute. So it's kind of it's almost insanely surprising that, that wouldn't really be the case. So it was definitely an interesting little thing. Of course, the other big thing that I would say came up out of this episode was the fact that Ketch kind of roaming around was like, yeah, I was actually sent here to kill you, which is Balfagar. And I was like, oh, okay, story's building. Let's see how that plays out. So he sent, to kill him. It's like, obviously I heard I got some bad information. I was told he was super horrible and a threat to humanity. So I came in to kill him, but obviously he's with you guys. Clearly things are cool. So I was like, all right, that leads to some more questions because obviously, as I've said before, any character that is possessing any spirit, and whatever spirit it is, good or bad, or angelic or demonic, it always comes out. They always get released, and then it's like, here was my ultimate plan all along. So we'll see what happens with that. I do know because I've seen the other episodes, but obviously I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who's kind of watching per episode, watching these reviews per episode if you're behind like me. But I thought that was interesting. I was like, all right, let's see where this leads. So, they planted that seed because they didn't really trust the guy. Super funny. Still don't trust him. So that was entertaining. Of course, Ketch and Rowena coming in, having their little pseudo romance, being hot to trot for each other. So that was something. Of course, Kevin coming in. It's always cool, especially with Kevin. As considering the dude's been dead forever, it's always surprising when Kevin makes a return. So once again, this was a real shocking return as far as I was concerned for Kevin coming back. I don't like to look into anything, for the episodes or anything like that. So I'm sure that was announced at some point somewhere, but I was like, oh, for me, 100% surprised. So I was super happy about it because it's like, Kevin. And then I was just like, wait a minute. And then, of course, they explained it. And I was like, freaking Chuck. Hate that guy. So there's that. I believe it was this episode. I watched all the episodes in a row, so I might be mixing some stuff up. But I do believe Chuck was in this episode as well as Amara. So that was pretty cool. That was definitely an interesting little moment, and hopefully that is right. If not, sorry for that minute spoiler. It's just a cool little cameo type deal. It's kind of like Kevin showing up. It was just like, oh, here's Amara in the episode. So that's interesting. I thought that was cool. Not too much really did come out of it, except for one really important scene, and that I thought was very entertaining. And just in case that is in the next episode, I'll save that for the next one because there's some other stuff that I wanted to talk about. Anyway, that kind of ties into God and some other stuff he did or didn't do, we'll say, going on in the next episode. So I'll definitely get to that stuff. But as far as this episode is concerned, definitely entertaining. Really enjoyed it. Like to see Kevin, even though it sucked that he was cast down to hell because Chuck was just a douche. It is just a douchebag. But it was good. It was definitely a good episode. Of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about it. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And of course, thanks for watching.